Every time I see a login page, I freeze for a second because I know what's about to happen. I start typing random passwords 1, 2, 3, none of them work. So I click forgot password, reset it, login, repeat. After doing this for years, I finally thought, I am a developer, why I am living like this? So I built my own password manager, and this is what it looks like. The goal was simple, one place to store my old password, secure, fast and mine. Before writing any code, I brainstormed features with GPT. It suggested things like end-to-end encryption and zero-knowledge architecture. End-to-end encryption made sense. Zero-knowledge architecture sounded interesting, but also kind of something that I could take months to build. So I decided to start with the basics. Before writing code, I needed to figure out how the app should actually work. My first idea was inspired by Google GPay. Yes, GPay protects payment with a PIN, so I thought, why not do the same? Just a PIN setting, enter the PIN, access all password. Simple, right? But then I realized something. GPay also has a full system behind it. The PIN is just one layer, not the entire security model. So I scrapped that idea. Instead, I built a proper sign up and login and used the PIN as an extra security layer. Now the structure made sense. For the backend, I use Node.js with Express. For the database, I use MongoDB. And for the frontend, I use Next.js with Tailwind CSS. Nothing too complicated, just tools that I am comfortable with. I usually start projects with the backend, so that's where I began. First, I created an Express server, connected it to the MongoDB. Then I built the sign-up route, tested it, user stored in the database, but the password was sitting there as plain text, which is obviously wasn't acceptable. So I added bcrypt hashing. Now the password stored in the database is hashed instead of readable text. Next, I implemented the login route and added JWT Authentication. Now came the actual password manager feature. Users could save passwords, but they were still stored as a plain text, so I needed encryption. I knew about AES-256, but that's hashing, not encryption. So I asked GPT, it pointed me to AES-256 encryption. I had never used it before, so I spent some time learning the basics. The idea is simple. You take a secret key and some text, and AES converts it into a encryption string. Without the key, you cannot recover the original text. So I implemented it and it broke. Fix it, broke again, 4 or maybe 6 times. Eventually GPT helped me to find the real issue. I was storing the encryption text as a plain text instead of the hex key. So what I needed to do is to just convert this raw key into hex and store that into database. After fixing that, everything finally worked. Password go into database encrypted, and when needed, they came out decrypted. With the backend working, I moved to the front end. First, I tried Gemini to generate the UI. I gave it to my design idea and asked it for the components. It gave me plain HTMLs, not the Next.js component. So that approach failed immediately. Then I tried Google Stitch. Surprisingly, it generated a decent layout. So I used that design and converted it into Next.js components using Copilot. When I ran the project, the layout looked completely broken. After checking the CSS, I discovered a global rule that was breaking my Tailwind styles. Remove it. Now the UI is finally looked correct. Then I connected the front end to the backend. Login immediately threw a course error, which was strange because the signer worked perfectly. After hours of debugging, I realized the browser wasn't sending the cookie with the request. So it wasn't really a course problem. One configuration change later fixed, but the bug didn't stop there. When I tried displaying saved password in the UI, the array mapping was broke, the data structure was wrong, keys were missing, everything was undefined. By this point, it had been almost a week. I was honestly ready to stop, but I had already spent so much time on this project, so I kept going. Fixed the array structure. Finally, it worked. With the authentication working and encryption working, the last feature was the pin screen. Now after logging in, the app asks for a pin before showing any password. Even if someone opens the site while you are logged in, they still can't see anything. I also added middleware to block the access of login page if the user is already authenticated. Small detail but important. Let's test everything. Create an account, log in, enter the PIN, dashboard, add a password, encrypt it in the database, decrypt it on screen. It works. So the app works, but honestly, I'm not completely satisfied with it. The UI still needs improvement. But the bigger concern is security. Right now, the system doesn't use end-to-end encryption or zero-knowledge architecture, which means if someone hacked the database, the password could be still at bdisk. That's not something I fully trust yet, so there is still work to do. Zero-knowledge architecture is the next thing, okay, that we can do. So the password manager works, but until I finish the security side, I probably won't trust it with my all passwords yet, which means I might still be clicking forget password for a while. But at least I know how to fix it. The source code in the description. If you have any idea how to make this more secure, drop them in comment.